many like reminder messages today. I know, it's had such a crazy day. I've just not even had a chance to do anything, so barely been able to put this episode together. So hopefully we'll just spontaneously erupt onto people's screens and they'll join us. So give us a shout if you see us. Give us a shout out in the comments, because we want to get started tonight. It's Friday. On Friday we talk about Star Trek. What do we talk about? Do we talk about Star Wars? No. Do we talk about what's some other names? Who? The Expanse? No. I do kind of want to watch that. I do. But no, we don't talk about that. No. Okay. Let's get started, shall we? Okay, everybody. It's just me. Hey, Christoph. Hi. Thank you for joining us. It's just myself, Trekkie Sam, and Trekkie, my friend Trekkie Carol. Tonight, Sarah can't join us, sadly. Hi, Carol. Look, Christoph twice. 2 platforms. I don't know why, but I like it when people watch over 2 platforms. It shows dedication, I think.
It does, yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, Tim. So tonight we thought we'd talk about, well, first of all, it's not William Shatner. I knew I'd say that. Leonard Nimoy Day. Leonard Nimoy Day today, because it would have been his 90th birthday. I hadn't realised they were like so close, like their birthday, him and William Shatner, the same week. Who knew?
And same age as well, and both would have been 90. Was 90.
Yeah.
Like, I would have had the energy of William Shatner at 90. I'm just saying.
He's incredible. He's an absolute machine, isn't he? Hi, Neil and Gary and Nadine and Joe. Yeah, he's an absolute machine, that guy. I mean, what did I do today? Hardly anything. Actually, I was confined to my kitchen because my carpets were being fitted. So I've been in this exact spot all day, and I'm shattered. But
William Shatner, you would have written a book while sat there.
I should have wrote a book. Hi, Julian. And that's what I should be doing. Yeah, one day we will write the book, won't we, Carol? We
will write one.
We have so many ideas. Like, we had the idea to do the cocktail book, and then we just went, we'll do that one day, and then someone else does it, and that's how our life has gone.
Sure, Lower Decks.
We wrote that in the pub. We literally wrote that in the pub.
Yeah.
I remember where we were. We're at the Harbour Lights.
Yeah.
That night. The engineer was a bit dirtier, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. We were paying for that, 18 bracket a bit more than.
Yeah. It's true. So it was William Shatner's birthday in the week. In fact, I sent out the link once again to our appearance, which we are forever connected to his appearance on Good Morning Britain, where I don't know how that got so out of hand. I don't know how it got called, TV's worst interview, and now we're now on this documentary every time. But I wish someone had spoken to us about that, and we could have been those people. Like those documentaries, they always have these.
Oh yeah, the behind the scenes.
Yeah, they have these random commentators, like I don't know, someone who won a celebrity chef program once, and they'll say something like, "Oh yes, we watched this clip and it was awkward." You're like, "What?" But they could have brought us in, and we could have said, "Actually, it was just a bit more mundane than that. It was a bit of a miscommunication."
Yeah.
That's why we weren't invited on it, and no one knew who we were. Was it Leonard Nimoy's birthday a few days ago? Oh, I thought it was today. Sorry. But today is Leonard Nimoy Day, not his birthday. Then, it's been named only technically in Boston, but I think we should just apply it everywhere.
Yeah, I'm willing to embrace that. Yeah.
Should we just
a national holiday?
Yeah. I didn't work today. That's the reason why. And what's amazing about Leonard Nimoy is since we all knew he was amazing while he was alive. I think everyone appreciated his contribution to Star Trek, but how much more those stories have been shared since his passing, how much he did contribute to Star Trek and to humanity, really. It's quite outstanding, especially with careers of Nichelle Nichols and the actress who played Yeoman Rand as well. You know, he was a real champion for women and people of colour. Which
I loved in his final few years on like Twitter, where he became everyone's granddad. I thought that was a beautiful touch, like a real, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. I was so fortunate to have been at his sort of final appearance in a way at a convention when he appeared online at Destination Star Trek.
Yeah.
And someone is saying that it is Leonard Nimoy's birthday on the 26th of March. Okay. And Marina said it's on the 29th. Thanks, Chris.
Wow.
Christopher. I'll just put that in.
Birthdays.
Yeah, I've got my trainer. Oh, Julian's asking if we ever met him in person. Did you ever meet him, Carol? I can't remember.
At a signing. So it was ever so briefly, you know, he had a huge queue, so it was sort of a picture, you know, autograph and move on. But yeah, ever so briefly. But he seemed a true gent.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had the same experience of meeting him in a queuing system. But yeah, I remember his big smile beaming up. Like, you know, when they look up and they look at you and they make that tiny bit of contact that a fan craves. I did get that. But the first time I ever saw him was at my first Vegas convention in 2008. And it wasn't even one of his scheduled talks. It was one of those. It was for Star Trek Online. It was the launch of Star Trek Online. And they had this small presentation, but it was the one thing that everyone left for. Like everyone walked out of the arena for. So there'd been a big talk, and then I wasn't particularly interested in hearing the Star Trek Online presentation, if I'm honest. I just stayed there to keep my seat. I had a good seat. And paid for it.
You don't give us a good seat.
Yeah, and me and the people next to us, we'd sort of formed this alliance of protecting seats. So it was my turn to protect the seat. So I sat there, put my feet up in the chair in front of me, you know, got my snacks out, and the lights went down like they do when a new run starts. The hall was practically empty, and then Leonard Nimoy just walked on the stage, and I'm like there's only like half a dozen people in this room, and Leonard was right there. So I sort of, you know, ran to the front, sat myself one of those gold seats for a little bit for that talk. Like, okay, just saved myself $3,000. Yeah, he just did this opening, but that was the first time I ever heard his voice.
Wow.
You know, he's like got that sort of Patrick Stewart voice about him, unmistakable. So yeah, that was my first encounter with him, and it felt like it was much more personable than a normal chat with him. I don't know why that is, but I don't know. There was probably a moment where he looked at me, but he didn't really look at me. But you know how you think they do, and you're like, there was a connection.
Well, he looked at me because he was talking to Sarah, who I was sat next to.
And of course, we were both really, the three of us were really lucky to go to Los Angeles to the Paramount Studios when they named one of the streets in the Paramount lot after Leonard Nimoy, which was a really magical thing. And Vinci was there to do that. Yeah, so so happy Leonard Nimoy Day, everyone. To Leonard. Oh, hang on a minute. I'm just going to put myself a drink. I wasn't going to drink, but then I found this port that's been like, it's only like the tiniest amount, but like it should be drank, right?
Yeah.
You know,
you can't leave that in a bottle.
No, it's a bit criminal, really. So I'm just going to do so. To Leonard.
My Jamesons.
Oh, cool.
But it was also Paddy's week, or Paddy's Day, a little while ago, and so it makes sense.
Oh, it's good. Nice. Yes. Oh, Neil made a good point here on Facebook. Saw a trailer for a new film with William Shatner and Christopher Lloyd called Senior Moments. I want to see that. That looks really funny.
Yeah,
I have to watch that.
I would love actually to see a convention panel with the two of them.
Yes, that would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like that. Tim, thank you for my nice kitchen. I'm actually going to replace it. It's a bit old actually, but I allow just the nice bits to be seen. Over there is awful. Julian, yes, we are hoping to get together in person when the Rule of Six happens. We can't wait. I can't even tell you. Where we're from, we are now allowed to go on an outside walk with another person. So we do. Me and Carol saw each other in the week for a walk. It was good, wasn't it? We went out just outside. Yeah, 6 foot apart and went for a walk. Jim, will we do live broadcasts? Yeah, we'll do live broadcasts when we're together. Yay, we can't break. I just love it much. It's so much more fun having it being together. God, yeah. And we usually watch Star Trek before we come on, which is really nice. And then what happens afterwards is then the drinking really starts, and Alan's up in the spare room.
Power balance at 5 in the morning.
Power balance, yeah, and it's every Friday.
Sarah sometimes has to work on a Saturday.
Yeah, crazy. Neil's made another point. The era of Zoom that we're showing our collections, it's good for some of my collection to be seen. Yeah, we should do some more showing our collections, shouldn't we? It's a bit of a time of us at the moment because Carol, you're in the process of moving, and I've been decorating, so everything's everywhere. But we should do that, shouldn't we? We should do.
Yeah, we'll do a section reveal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. So, shall we talk about holodeck therapy?
Yeah.
So this came from watching the Lower Decks episode for episode 9, Crisis Point, and it's really, really funny. And it got me thinking about holodeck as a form of therapy, and thought it's quite an interesting. It was at first I thought it was a unique approach from Beckett to undertake this therapy herself. But then I thought about it and thought, actually, it's been done a lot on Star Trek. A lot of former officers have turned to the holodeck. Of course, the most famous example being Nog. Let me just bring that up. Yeah, Nog on It's Only a Paper Moon.
I was actually going to suggest the last episode of Enterprise. Could it have been the sort of therapy Riker was doing?
You're right. Actually, thinking about it, you're right, Carol, because Councillor Troy, didn't she sort of say, are you working through something? Well, imagine what a kick in the teeth that is. It's not just throwing in a TNG episode, it's a therapy episode, which I shouldn't not because I'm actually a therapist, so not practicing. Retired. Not quite qualified.
I think the word still in training. You've got your ensign pit.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, I'm a junior counsellor. I'm like Esri Dax, basically. I'm a junior counsellor. Yeah, that's a good point, Carol. It was very. Riker did actually work through his issues, didn't he? Yeah. He used Archer sort of and the crew of Enterprise as sort of a moral compass, I suppose. Yeah. And okay, I thought of another one. What about this episode? This is schisms. So it's not really using a program to work through your emotional issues, but Councillor Troy did help the crew work through what they were all experiencing by bringing to life some of their visions.
Yeah.
Which was oddly specific. Give me a table about yay high, and so this weird contraption arrives, which was quite funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's another sort of way that the holodeck sort of uses as a tool.
Say the holodeck for the Voyager crew was they used it therapeutically quite a lot. I think I was going to say Janeway with the Vinci. I'm sure that was an escape and a therapeutic exercise.
Definitely, Carol. Definitely. I was thinking the same about Da Vinci appears in Lower Decks as well. It's a bit of a running joke, like.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I was watching. I probably already told you guys this, but Teen Titans. This is like piss take Star Trek episode, which is like an early lower decks, and they sort of take the piss out of the holodeck. They're like, but you got the holodeck and you came up with not Shakespeare, Dickens and Moriarty. That's what you could do. And it's like that with Da Vinci. It's like, who comes up with this? But Janeway's kind of a legend because I was thinking about how Janeway in particular uses it as a because there was no counsellor, and I wonder whether, when in the absence of counsellors, holodecks are considered a therapeutic method. And I'm just going to share this one out here. Okay, not one of the best episodes, but Fairhaven. Janeway likes to get it on. I think she likes to get a theme on the holodeck.
Yeah,
definitely. So I kind of wonder whether this was the way she she actually sort of changed the program to suit her needs, and stopped her bonking with the first officers. And speaking of boinking on the holodeck, the holographic doctor, it wasn't just for therapeutic, psychological, but also physiological. He encouraged Tuvok to go get it on.
He did,
with his holographic wife. We assume holographic wife anyway. Be anyone. So Christopher makes a good point that Geordie uses the holodeck to work out a problem with Leah Brahms. So not just therapy, people using it to find engineering solutions. People aren't just bonking in the holodeck. Lower decks the other week. People use it for that. Oh yes, they use it for that. Voyager uses the holodeck to work out a problem in of course. See, and then of course it goes the other way with Barclay. He says it's therapeutic, but also at the same time it can be the reason why you need therapy. Carl says scary episode. I know which one you're talking about. That was Schisms, wasn't it? Scared daylights at me when I was a kid. I used to genuinely, because it was like tapping into the whole 1990s alien adoption thing, wasn't it? You say here, it was very, very X-Files. It was totally something like the X-Files, wasn't it?
I just started rewatching the X-Files.
Have you?
Yeah, it's so sweet. The early episodes, looking at Gillian Anderson, she looks so fabulous, but so young.
So young, I know, they both are.
Yeah.
Paul, this is a good point. 7 and 9 used it to help her practice social gatherings with the crew. She did, didn't she? And it was a bit like Boimler in a way as well in this episode, Crisis Point, practicing reactions on different crew members. That's true. Neil, you're right. The Irish stereotypes were bad. They were not. They were a bit.
They were acceptable in their time, but
were they? They got away with it in their time. Yeah. Tim, in space, no one hears you bonking in the holodeck. I love it. All right, let's talk about lower decks then, shall we? Let's have a little chat about. So it was Crisis Point. It's the penultimate episode.
I love how much Star Trek we're getting, but every season I want more of it. It's like,
I know. Isn't that the little TNG episode, too short a season? That's what they should call, the final series of Lower Decks, too short a season. I did. I like this episode as a complete one. Halfway through, I'm starting thinking, what is Mariner doing? But actually, when you see the whole thing completed, it's really good.
It's really good. I watched it actually with Owen.
Yeah.
And he got really into it. So if I take anything away from it, it may have got Owen slightly interested in Star Trek.
Oh, cool.
Which is awesome. So yeah. So he
wants to mind everyone how old Owen is?
He's 15.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure he is the demographic they're going for.
Cool. Well, that's really good.
Yeah. So I really love this episode, especially the bit where they pan over the ship for a good solid minute.
My God.
There's a lens flare. They do it from all the angles. They twist. There's beautiful music. Yeah.
They do it just for the right amount of time to be absurd and comical, don't they?
They do.
It's probably one of the funniest scenes, I thought, in the whole of Lower Deck so far. I actually was crying with laughter the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
I was saying to someone on Twitter the other day about how it stands up to a second rewatch. And I find it funnier the second time round.
Yeah.
Because I think before I'm so eager to spot every single reference, Easter egg. You know, I'm going to sprain something trying to pay attention. But now I just watch it and I'm relaxed and I just let the jokes roll in. And
this time I noticed when they're on the holodeck and you're watching it, there's like screen flickers and like the little lines as if you're watching an actual movie at a cinema. And I thought that was just a really lovely touch. It's so subtle. But I thought that was amazing.
There were some really good little movie cues in there, like the opening credits, the closing credits, the Voyage Home credits. There were some really
all the nods to the other movies. So her quoting Shakespeare. I love
the way she sort of used the sort of the inflections. Free man. Yeah, definitely. I love Captain. I love Captain Freeman. She's probably turning into one of the greatest captains of all time. I think she just that beginning scene where Beckett's making a bit of a drama, and then Freeman beams down, and you think, you know, Beckett almost expects her to not agree with what she's doing, and she doesn't.
Yeah,
she's in the wrong, but she's going about it the wrong way. You know, she's doing the right thing, but in the wrong way. And Captain Freeman's like, if I just give you replicators, will you stop eating these people? We've got to stop eating them. You know, just a nice, simple solution. That's why she's the captain.
Yeah.
One of the little references I really liked is Beckett saying, when Boimler doesn't want any part of it, she's like, we'll cut you like Zon. Which, of course, in case anyone watching here hasn't seen all the references and doesn't know already, and I'm sure you already do, I know we're the last people to do reviews on this. But he was set to replace Spock in Star Trek 2. He's never quite made it, but I'm quite interested to know what happened to Zon, because obviously she's heard of him. I wonder whether, because it's an obscure Trekkie reference, maybe it's an obscure Starfleet thing. You know, he's got an obscure job. I don't know. But Christopher, to answer a few of your questions. In the UK, we got Lower Decks all at once. Yes, they all hit us all at once. Yeah. And yes, the music in Lower Decks is brilliant, and they made homage to everything before.
Yeah. I think this is one of my favourite episodes. I say that every episode, like each one I like a little bit more than the last. But I love when Ranson refers to the TOS era. They meant those old scientists. And I love that.
I got it in there, and they made it make sense. Yeah, I'm quite interested as well. You know, we keep talking about the what's going on in the background outside of the humour, but with Tendi, when she mentions that Orions haven't been, she went in a funny way. I've got it written down here. Capitalist hyper-libertarian gangster pirates for about 5 years now. So something happened with the Orions there. I mean, it sounds like the stereotype, like most stereotypes, is based in some sort of truth at some point. And so, there is some truth in there being pirates, but they're not. It sounds like there's been a little bit of change in culture.
But it does look like, if you watch Discovery, they have gone back to those piratey ways. We only see one Orion, but she's a bit of a gangster pirate type.
That's true, yes.
But you can't judge a whole race by the one you see. So
That's true. We don't want to get in trouble here. Any Orions are watching, I've got friends who are Orions.
Yeah, exactly, Like, don't show any pictures of us green face.
Yeah. Yeah. Us in green face at convention. Buy us a drink. Oh, speaking of which, James Dillon. Little known fact, J.J. Abrams has... Oh, I just got it. I just got it. That took me a while. God, that's actually quite funny. This is a good one. From Neil, the references are like when other shows do pop culture references for other shows. Even Roger Donut, this port is strong, was a cool reference. Yes, I did think of me and Carol because we kind of fancy him, don't we? Yeah, he is badass. Absolutely. Ooh, so it'd be good if Lower Decks season 2, they do an episode in the style of the animated series.
Oh,
yeah,
that would be awesome.
Cool. Interesting to see how that would work. It's not a million miles off, is it? But yeah, interesting. On other news this week, what else is it? Oh my god, you've been seeing the Voyager documentary. I know we keep commenting on this every week, but 600,000 away from the 1 million stretch goal.
Wow.
I know. Like, what are they gonna? I really wanted to get there. I was looking today. I was like, oh, what should I get something else? But I've spent so much money already. I really want to see it hit 1 million. Anyway, so if you guys haven't already done that, go and have a check it out. It was 1 million. What they're going to do? They're going to build Voyager. I hope so. I'm very excited about them filming the interview there in London.
Oh, really? Ooh.
They've already passed that one. It's they're going to film a reunion talk in London Convention. Oh, I saw today Will Wheaton had messaged that he's been booked for a convention later this year. Ooh, there's one later this year now. But I mean, there's Vegas, but I think August might still be too soon. November, I don't know. It's far away enough to start dreaming.
Yeah, I'm already dreaming about conventions. And
I know, because he also wrote about how he's feeling a bit anxious about going out again, and I get that. I kind of sort of feel that, but I don't feel like that when I think about conventions.
No.
I just feel like, I'm ready. I can do that. Okay, Christopher. Oh, you got some good questions today, Christopher. How did you rate the Cerritos crash versus other Starship crashes in Voyager? I like the Voyager Snow Crash. Voyager Snow Crash is amazing and timeless, isn't it? I like that. I mean, Generations
I was going to say, Generations, that on the big screen, just, can't be beat.
Well, but I do also really like Star Trek Beyond's crash. And I quite like the way they get the thrusters and the ship goes flips over. I quite like their crash as well, where Uhura sort of separates it, so it's kind of more drawn out. But there's something about Generations crash where you see a bit more of the crash from the inside perspective. Now they're all on that ship still. Beyond, they kind of jump out, but still kind of cool to watch. Yeah, the snow crash is a good one. But next week, what we're going to do an AMA, Ask Us Anything. So why don't you come along next week and just throw some questions at us, because I love asking questions from you guys. Come along next Friday and come and ask us some questions. It'll be fun.
It will be. So
guys, we're going to love you and leave you again, and hope you will have a lovely week, and we shall see you next week for our AMA. And also it's our final episode of Lower Decks. Also the best. See you later, guys. Take care, everyone. Bye.